Hello, good morning everyone. For today's video, I'll be discussing our performance task numbers 1 and 2 for the third quarter. So our performance task number 1 is titled Distinguishable Permutation or Not. So from the title itself, you have an idea that the topic is about distinguishable permutation. So what is the grasp of this PT? So the goal of this PT is to apply your knowledge about permutation and distinguishable permutation by solving the possible arrangements of the answer of each question. Your role is you are a survey respondent. Your audience is a group of researchers. What is the situation? A group of researchers is looking for the respondents of their survey. You are asked to answer a few questions. As a grade 10 student, you realize that the answers can be examples of permutation and distinguishable permutation, so you try to solve it. So the product will be a filled out survey together with the possible arrangement of each answer. Now we have the standard, so this is how you will be graded. Answers to the question, so 2 points per question, so there are 3 questions there, so total of 6 points. Distinguishable permutation or not, so you have to identify if the answer is an example of distinguishable permutation or not. So paano ba natin malalaman, sir, if it is distinguishable or not? So we can say that it is distinguishable permutation if there are repeating letters. So if there are no repeating letters, then it is just a mere permutation. So total of 3 points. Possible arrangements, so 9 points, 3 points each, and then 2 points for the submission if you will submit your PT on time or earlier. So this is an example of the PT. So as you can see, you have here the performance task number 1, the title, your name, and your section. Then you just have to answer the following questions. So these are the questions. What is the month of your birthday? So in my case, I was born in the month of March, so I use the word March. And as you can see, March has no repeating letters, so it is just a mere permutation. So I answered not a distinguishable permutation. So now I will solve for the possible arrangements of the word March. So since it is just a mere permutation, I have 5 factorial. So 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So there are 120 distinct permutations from the word March. So same process for the other questions. So what country you want to visit one day? So in my case, I chose Japan. And as you can see, Japan has repeating letters, so it is an example of distinguishable permutation. So just remember how to compute for the distinguishable permutation. So as you can see, that's the solution. 5 factorial over 2 factorial. So 5 factorial is 120 divided by 2. So there are 60 distinct permutations from the word Japan. Then lastly, what is your favorite animal? So in my case, turtle. So turtle has repeating letters, so it is an example of distinguishable permutation. So I compute for the possible arrangements and I come up with 360 distinct permutations. So that's all for the performance task number 1. Let us now discuss our performance task number 2 titled Permu and Combi Everywhere. So the topics are about permutation and combination. So this is the grasp of this PT. So the goal of the PT is you have to look for objects that show the concept of combination or permutation and create a question from it. So it is just the same as our previous PT about sequence, wherein you are asked to look for an object that shows sequence and then you have to create a question about the object you've taken. So it's just the same, no? So you have to look for an object around your house that shows permutation and combination. Then after identifying it as permu or combi, you have to construct your own question about the object. So your role here is you are a photographer. Audience are the viewers of your picture. Situation: to appreciate the concept of combination and permutation, you are tasked to look for the objects that show combination and permutation. Product: a picture together with a question about combination and permutation. Of course, it must be related to the object. The standard: combination or permutation, 5 points. So you have to identify if the object you've taken is an example of permutation or combination. So sir, how will I know if it is permutation or combination? It is permutation if arrangements, orders, or positions are important. Then it is combination if arrangements, positions, and orders are not important. Next, picture that shows combination or permutation. So 8 points. So this is the picture of the object. Constructed question, 5 points. So this is the question you will create based on the picture. Then submission, 2 points. So you'll receive 2 points if you will submit your PT on time or earlier. So here are the sample PT. So as you can see, you have here performance task number 2, the title, your name and section, and then the object that I chose to put in the PT is the screenshot of my Gcash account. So remember, if you are a Gcash user, before we access it, we are asked to put our 4-digit password. So that is an example of permutation. So I took a screenshot of it, label it as permutation, and then I construct a question regarding the picture. So the question that I formed is, using the digits from 0 to 9, how many 4-digit passwords are possible? So I also included the formula for permutation, and then I identify which is N and which is R. N is the total number of objects. So based on the problem, our N is 10 because there are 10 digits from 0 to 9. Then R, meaning objects taken at a time. So since the password requires 4 digits, so meaning 4 digits taken at a time, so R is 4. Let's try to discuss another sample. So it's just the same as the first one. It is just that the object taken includes 4 books. So I label it as an example of combination because of the question I formed. Not necessarily when we talk about book, it is combination. It's not automatic, no. It depends on the question you'll create. So I can say that it is combination because of the question I created. So the question is, 2 books will be taken at a time from 4 books. How many arrangements are possible? So based on the question, it is combination because you just have to take 2 books among the 4 books, no? So you just have to take 2 books from 4 books. So meaning arrangement is not important. Okay, so that's an example of combination. Then just like the first example, I include the formula for the combination, and then I identify what is N and what is R. So N, there are 4 books. Then R is 2 because you'll take 2 books at a time. So that's all for our performance task number 2.